The first thing the world knew of Sarah Everard was a photograph. A young woman with an effervescent smile, her face radiating life and joy. This picture quickly became symbolic, shared widely as the search for Sarah gripped the public. She was a 33-year-old marketing executive, a beloved daughter, sister, and friend. Her life was full of promise, yet what happened to her one fateful night in March 2021 sent shockwaves across the globe. Sarah Everard was walking home. A simple, everyday act many of us take for granted, yet it cost her life. Her tragic story is not just about the loss of a vibrant young woman, but has become a catalyst for discussions about violence against women, trust in authority, and the systemic failures that allowed such a horrific crime to occur. What happened to Sarah? On March 3, 2021, Sarah Everard left her friend's house in Clapham, South London, to walk back to her home in Brixton. It was a journey she had taken before, a straightforward 50-minute walk through familiar streets. At around 9 p.m., Sarah called her boyfriend as she walked along the route. They spoke briefly, their conversation ending at 9:28 p.m. After this, Sarah continued her journey along Poinders Road, a well-lit street where a doorbell camera recorded her walking toward Tulse Hill. Tragically, this was the last known sighting of Sarah Everard. The following morning, unease began to grow when Sarah failed to attend a scheduled work meeting. This was highly unusual for her, as she was known to be reliable and communicative. Her friends and boyfriend became increasingly concerned when their repeated calls and messages went unanswered throughout the day. By evening, the sense of urgency escalated. Her boyfriend, unable to reach her, decided to visit her flat to check if she was there. Finding no sign of Sarah, he reported her missing to the police, marking the beginning of an investigation that would soon capture national attention.
The desperate search.
The search for Sarah was immediate and intense. Friends plastered Clapham with missing person posters. Social media lit up with appeals for information. Meanwhile, police combed Clapham Common and nearby parks for clues. Search teams scoured ponds, visited over 750 homes, and received more than 100 calls from concerned members of the public. But as days passed, hope dimmed. Sarah's family described her as absolutely amazing, so sensible and well-loved. Her cousin expressed their collective anguish, saying, "This is so totally out of character for her. We just need to get her home." A shocking arrest, the unthinkable truth. On March 9th, 2021, just 6 days after Sarah's disappearance, the investigation took an unexpected and horrifying turn. A Metropolitan Police officer, Wayne Couzens, was arrested at his home in Deal, Kent, on suspicion of kidnapping Sarah. The arrest sent shockwaves across the nation. The revelation that a serving police officer entrusted with upholding law and order could be involved in such a heinous crime sparked widespread outrage and disbelief. The betrayal felt by the public was palpable. How could someone in a position of trust commit such unimaginable acts? As more details came to light, the extent of Couzens' deceit became apparent. Exploiting his authority, he staged a calculated and sinister ruse. Using his warrant card and handcuffs, he carried out a fake arrest under the guise of enforcing COVID-19 regulations. This manipulation led Sarah to comply without resistance. She was restrained, placed in his car, and driven nearly 80 miles away to Kent. What followed was a horrifying sequence of events that would forever scar the collective conscience of a nation. The horrific crime. What unfolded on that fateful night was beyond anything anyone could imagine. A chilling reminder of the darkest depths of human cruelty. Within mere hours of abducting Sarah, Wayne Couzens committed the most unthinkable atrocities. He raped her, strangled her, and stripped away not only her life, but her dignity. In a calculated attempt to erase his crime, he burned her body and discarded her remains in a builder's bag, leaving them hidden in a pond, as if her existence meant nothing. On March 10th, Sarah's remains were discovered, her identity heartbreakingly confirmed through dental records. The devastating news sent shockwaves through her family, plunging them into a grief that words could barely describe. Her mother's raw and heart-wrenching statement captured the unbearable pain they endured. He treated my daughter as if she was nothing and disposed of her as if she was rubbish. Burning her body was the final insult. It meant we could never again see her sweet face and never say goodbye. These haunting words reverberated far beyond her family, resonating with a nation in mourning. They painted a picture of unimaginable loss and a collective heartbreak, leaving people everywhere to grapple with the horrifying reality of Sarah's final moments. A nation united in grief and anger. Sarah's murder struck a deep chord with women across the UK and beyond. Her story was painfully relatable. She was just walking home. Women shared their own experiences of fear, harassment, and the precautions they took to stay safe. On March 13th, a vigil organized by the group Reclaim These Streets was planned to honor Sarah. Despite COVID-19 restrictions, approximately 1,500 people gathered at Clapham Common, where Sarah had last been seen. Candles were lit, flowers laid, and silence observed. However, the peaceful vigil descended into chaos as police attempted to disperse the crowd. Images of male officers pinning women to the ground and trampling tributes sparked global outrage. Activist Sophie Walker stated, "The only thing violent at that event was the behavior of the police." Justice for Sarah. The trial and sentence. Wayne Couzens stood trial in the summer of 2021, facing the consequences of his unspeakable crimes. On July 9th, he pleaded guilty to the kidnapping, rape, and murder of Sarah Everard. The two-day sentencing hearing that followed revealed the chilling and premeditated nature of his actions, exposing the extent of his depravity. As the details of the crime unfolded, Sarah's family displayed remarkable courage, confronting Couzens in court and demanding accountability for the immense pain he had caused. During the proceedings, Sarah's father, Jeremy Everard, spoke directly to Couzens, his words filled with heartbreak and anguish. "You murdered our daughter and forever broke the hearts of her mother, father, brother, sister, family, and friends." His powerful statement captured the depth of the loss Sarah's family had endured and the irreversible damage caused by her murder. In response to the horrific nature of the crime, Couzens was sentenced to a rare whole life term, meaning he will never be released from prison. This unprecedented sentence marked a significant moment in the legal system, as it was the first time such a sentence had been imposed for a single murder not related to terrorism. While no sentence could ever undo the devastation, it was a step toward justice for Sarah and a reminder that even the most heinous acts will not go unpunished. Could Sarah's death have been prevented? The case revealed disturbing failings within the police system. Colleagues of Couzens had nicknamed him the rapist due to his behavior. He had faced allegations of indecent exposure, including an incident at a McDonald's just weeks before Sarah's murder. Despite clear warning signs, no action was taken to prevent him from abusing his position of power. These failures prompted widespread calls for police reform and greater accountability. Trust in law enforcement plummeted, with many questioning how someone with such a history was allowed to serve in the police force. The legacy of Sarah Everard. Sarah's murder ignited a national conversation about violence against women. Activists demanded systemic changes to address the underlying issues of misogyny and abuse of power. Initiatives like increased street lighting and undercover police in nightlife areas were proposed, but many argued these measures failed to address the root causes. Women across the UK continue to demand safer streets, better education about consent and respect, and a justice system that truly protects victims. Sarah's story serves as a stark reminder of the work still needed to create a safer society. Sarah Everard was more than a victim. She was a bright, loving individual whose life was cruelly stolen. Her story is a call to action, urging us to confront uncomfortable truths about violence, power, and accountability. As we remember Sarah, we must honor her legacy by continuing to advocate for change. Her name has become a symbol of resilience, a reminder that every woman deserves to feel safe. Above all, we must ensure that her death was not in vain. Let us say her name, Sarah Everard. What can we do to create a world where women feel safe, not fearful? How can we ensure that justice is served and accountability prevails? Are we doing enough to honor those who have been victims of such violence? If this story moved you, share it to raise awareness and subscribe for more real-life crime stories that demand attention. Together, we can make a difference and ensure these voices are heard.